What's going on, guys? It's Tyler here with BrakeBank, and as you can see, we're in the new and improved vault. So when we first started this build series, we were in the transition process of moving shops. But now that we're finally settled in, we can tackle wiring. So when it comes to wiring, it can be very intimidating. And trust me, I was very intimidated by wiring when I first started learning how to work on cars. But the more I worked on it, the easier it became, and it became more of a second nature to me. So today, I'm gonna explain to you everything that goes into wiring my car. So with this build, I always wanted to do a full race chassis wiring system. And that's exactly what I did. I incorporated a lot of different connector styles, a lot of different devices that I'm going to use in the system, and I incorporated it all into one easy to use plug and play harness. So I'm building a race car here. So realistically, I don't need a huge battery that's going to add a lot of weight to the car, and I don't have many electronics to power up. So I have this Odyssey Extreme Series battery, which is super light and super compact. So with the wiring, we have a wire that goes from the positive terminal on the battery all the way to this ignition solenoid. So what this does is, with a key lock cylinder like this, it allows the battery power to turn the fuse box on with retaining the factory key cylinder. So from there, the battery power goes to the fuse box, which in turn powers the entire car, from headlights to taillights. So this key lock cylinder doesn't do anything but turn the battery power on and off. To get the car started, we have this awesome switch panel made by Meyer Racewire that, with a flip of the switch, will turn all the accessories, including my engine, right on. So this is a very simple switch panel. We turn the ignition on, then we can turn our fuel pumps on, then we can start the car. Now once the engine is running and the battery is charging, we can turn on our fans, and when it gets dark, we have lights. Over here, we have our left and right turn signals, and then on the very bottom, we have wiper blades. So moving on from the switch panel, we have our Meyer Racewire fuse box. So this is what actually controls the voltage going to each device. This smaller fuse panel right here is what controls all my fuel pumps. From this fuse box, we have this little harness that connects the Meyer Racewire harness all the way to the Wiring Specialties engine harness. So simple wiring calls for simple connections. That's why I decided to use Deutsch connectors. So from the fuse panel, we have this spool of wiring right here. So this is what actually powers up your headlights to taillights and everything in between, giving all your devices power. Firewall, we have a positive and negative battery terminal that runs straight to the battery. And then right here, we have our engine harness coming through the firewall with a nice grommet. And then the chassis wiring also comes through a grommet on the firewall, running nice and neat underneath the fender up to the front tube structure. I'm gonna be adding some connectors wherever the tube front disconnects, so I can solid mount the wires to the chassis, and then when I remove the front end, I'll just have to disconnect the wires and pull everything apart very easily. have my fuse panel solid mounted to the chassis, I can show you that it's very easy to access to change fuses and relays if need be. And also as well for my fuel fuse panel. Right here, we have a plate that I custom made for my ECU, igniter, the starting solenoid, the ECU relay, and this CAN connector hub that will control my CD7 dash, as well as any other device I want to run in the future. So the battery's loosely mounted right now, and I have the power wire running to the front of the car. Then back here, I ran the actual harness from the fuse box. It runs around the battery, goes to the left side taillight connectors, runs over here, tucks behind this panel here, and connects to the right side taillights. On this harness as well, we have the wiring for my fuel pumps and the fuel level sender. So it connects nicely down here.